Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever that you're tuning in from. I like to say thank you so very much for your support. And my name is Quen. Most of my friends call me Quen, and some would call me Lily. Either way, it's fine as long as you're comfortable. All right. So I have embarked on this 20 days of sharing session. There are several topics that's been covered over the 20 days. I've done the first five, and today is my sixth day. So, today I will be sharing with you several pivotal points that changed the course of my life and how it brought me to where I am today as a digital business entrepreneur. Okay, so just bear with me. All right, so I'm gonna go back as far as 1994. That would be the year after I've graduated from my graphic designing school and did some photography before I joined the cabin crew. Yes, in 1994, I became a flight attendant with Singapore Airlines. Yes, and did for about 17 years. So that was the best time of my life, traveling the world. So it's like, having breakfast in Singapore and then, dinner in Paris. Yeah, that was the high and flying life of a cabin crew. Yeah, eventually we will have to settle down, isn't it? So I did after 17 years, and then I had a child. So I became a stay-home mom for a good 7 years. So during that 7 years, unfortunately, it wasn't a very pleasant experience for me because I think maybe it's an identity crisis because knowing myself, having that freedom and a voice of my own, having control over my own life, then the ability to travel to become a homemaker, I suddenly find myself like I don't know who I was anymore and not able to doll myself up because my schedule is mostly about taking care of my family. So I went into a very dark place, I felt very unhappy. And of course, eventually, everything went down. And I walked out with my boy. And okay, that was the first pivotal point of my life from being a flying cabin crew. And I became a stay home mom and drastic change in my life from singlehood to married and then become single again. So when I was solo parenting my son, right? Because I've been away for about 7 years. So in the working world, 7 years is a very, very long time to be disconnected. During the time when I was 7 years away from the workforce, I sort of built up a bubble over myself. I thought by giving my best, taking care of my family, everything will be a-okay when it turns out not okay after a while. I felt unappreciated, I felt unhappy, so I moved on. When I was on my own, I was renting apartment, living on savings, right? All of the letters that I sent out came out with no answers. So living in my second stage of life, I would say a pivotal point of that is directing me to another path in life, right? So making ends meet was a challenge, and raising a toddler then was hard as well. But I did not give up. If you're a faith believer like me, you would actually start to believe miracles actually happen because it did happen over my life. During my most desperate moments, I've cried buckets of tears, during that time because, yeah, I forgot to mention during that time, my mom, I lost her to cancer stage 4, yeah. It was very hard going through divorce and losing someone that was the pillar of my life. And now I have to stand on my own 2 feet raising a toddler. So I didn't give up. I prayed, and my prayer was answered in the form of a phone call. For a couple of months, I was struggling very bad. Then eventually I received a phone call. It was from a friend that says, "Hey, Quen, you want to join us, teach the young kids in the Sunday school?" And I said, yeah, I would love that. But what about my son? Bring him along. Let him join us. I was like, wow, answered prayer. So now I won't have to worry fulfilling this obligation and then put my son somewhere else for someone to take care of him while I take care of someone's, if you get what I'm saying. So everything under one roof. So that is one answered prayer. So that became the second pivotal point of my life after divorce, that I became an educator. The third one is coming up, okay? So after I became an educator for a good 8 years, I think, I was teaching kids from primary 1 to primary 6. So the stress level was pretty high, and you know, during the worldwide event about 3-4 years back, a lot of things changed. Our obligations, our schedules, everything was changed. So I got myself in a position which truly stretched me as a person that has to fulfill my obligation, right? And during that hardworking moment, I got myself hurt at my cervical spine here at 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what do? I end up with inability to fulfill my further obligations, because the specialists put me on a 1.5 years of home rest to recuperate, because that was under my request. Reason being, I didn't want to go for the invasive surgery because I have my little toddler. By then he is not exactly a toddler anymore. He's already in the primary school. My biggest concern was, what if I don't wake up from the operating table, you know? So I discussed this with my specialist. He says, yeah, you can actually opt for natural healing, but it will take you a while, and it also truly depends on how your body can cope with it, whether it will heal itself or not. So let's just cross our finger, right? So he did his necessary advising. So he told me what needs to be done, and so I just did the rest on my own. Again, my God came to my rescue, so to speak. You know, he answered my prayer. So in that 1.5 years, right, I was resting at home. And I was also going through some ups and downs because I was worried. I cannot be sitting there with no backup plans. And because in the past, I thought as long as keep working hard and take home whatever and put bacons on the table and I'll be okay. Again, I did not learn my lesson. Everything is okay until it became not okay, right? So it's so important I learned a valuable lesson to have a backup plan. So I prayed hard about it. And as I was, you know, scrolling through the social media platform, that's how I came to know about this digital business. And I saw someone who was an ex-colleague. She was sharing, and then that's how she told me about, you know, the opportunity of starting a business where I can be a stay-home parent and, you know, get creative in this personal space of mine and not be constrained by time and schedule that is planned by others. Then I said, that could just work fine. Then I can, like, you know, wow, it's like a stone that shoot two birds, you know, if you get what I'm saying. Then I thought to myself, yeah, then I can stay at home, take care of my boy, send him to school every day, and still work within my comfort zone, not to wake up to alarm clocks other than, you know, waking up to send my kids to school and picking him up. I can be in a cafe or anywhere, right? So that was the best thing. And I even have the time to go for physiotherapy. Yeah, I was on intensive physiotherapy session for 1.5 years in and out of the clinic. Eventually, I got better. See, this arm, I can now raise it up and down. In the past, it was diagnosed like, you know, I was told to be 25% of disability. It is still in my record, but that's okay. Now I can lift up my arm. It's just that I'm not carrying anything heavy to aggravate the situation, right? So when I found out about this digital business, that is when my life started to change. I was enjoying so much of the, how to say, taking back control of my schedule, my life, and doing things that both my son and I love doing. One being to travel the world. I mean, you know, once a travel bug infected person like me, cannot stop myself. I forever be itching to travel. So it's like, this digital business has allowed me the space to get creative, and then, to generate extra, and fulfilling my obligation as a mom. And the best part is what I learned through this system and training platform. I'm able to share my knowledge to my son. So I want to pass on this digital business as a legacy to my son. So this is the final pivotal point in my life. First, there was the quitting of flying, and then I got divorced, then the injury, and finally, the journey of entrepreneurship today. This is who I am today, a former cabin crew turned educator. Because of an injury, I was caught at the crossroad in life, deciding whether to admit defeat, keep crying, and not ever get up, feel sorry for myself. Instead, I chose to stand back up on my own 2 feet. I have survived past setbacks. I can do it again. So here I am today, spending time getting creative, talking to you through live stream, and sharing a lot of ideas how we too can build a plan B. So if you are also fulfilling obligation full-time outside, it's okay. It's the right thing to do. But you can also have a backup plan, all right? Because we are brought up to believe that grow up, graduate, serve, and take home the bacon. Repeat the cycle and teach the next generation to do the same. Now, what if I tell you you can do it differently? Of course, my situation is different. I was not given that opportunity to pick myself up. So to say get to fulfill the obligation again because of that injury, because the hirers will see the record and they say, oh, okay, this one has the whatever. So it could be liability. So I told myself, heck, if you are not going to give me that opportunity to build myself up again, I have a kid to take care of. I'll create the opportunity for myself. And along the way, because of my resilience, because of my consistency in this digital business, I am so glad I get to learn so many new skills, people handling skills, and business management, leveraging on social media, how to do editing, recording, and going live. So much to learn. And it's very, very interesting. There's not a day that is boring, truly. Like this morning, I have attempted to come live, and it was really quite a few hurdles, but I don't care. So I'm going to do, here I am, coming to you, and I hope through the experience that I've gone through, right, it will give you a sort of motivation and inspiration. Hey, if Lily Quinn can do it, I can too. Of course you can. As long as we have resilience, as long as we hold on to hope, have faith. Have faith. The size of a mustard seed is all you need. Have faith in the little things. Have faith that we can do it. Right? The heavens are looking down. So when we hit the lowest point, there's only one way up. Is to go back up. Okay? So open our eyes big. Look straight ahead. Whatever that comes our way, face it head on. Like I did, a step at a time. Don't expect miracles to happen overnight. All right? A lot of things we need to put in the active step of participation. Get involved. Living the imperfect life, getting the perfect result in the end is truly worth it. We reap what we sow. Okay? So if you're interested to know how to live a life that you can be in control of, reach out to me, okay? You can find me on quite a few social media platforms, Facebook being one, okay? Yeah. So just do it, okay? Oh, I don't know why I'm live. Let me see. Okay, so I'll say it bye-bye now. Please take care of yourself now. Reach out to me, okay? God bless.